Hey guys, what is going on? RedMaster here, and welcome back to the episode of Cards and Castles Hidden Combos, where today we have another freezing deck to bring you in, of course, towards the end of winter, actually, as I think I'm making this. I mean, we're about to hit March in 4 days, so it's fitting that we kind of see out winter with another very cold deck, and now, before we jump into this, though, before we jump into the Blizzard Blitz deck, and I'll explain more of the deck when we go over the deck list. But I just want to, before we jump into that deck list, I want to give a thanks to folks in the Discord. You know who you are for dropping the idea of this deck. Maybe if they don't pick it up right away, they'll see it in the list. I'm really trying to save the explanations for the deck list. But I just kind of wanted to thank folks over at the Discord real quick for giving me the idea to make this deck. Of course, I always love it when I get an idea to kind of throw some content up from some ideas I see in some of the Discords. So, with that being said, I think that's enough for me for now. So let's go ahead and jump right in to this deck list for Blizzard Blitz. Okay, so here we have the Blizzard Blitz deck list. Now, to be fair, I think this was a pretty tricky concept to flesh out, but I think I managed to pull off something here. I'm going to go ahead and run you by what I've got. So this deck runs off of two major components, one being freeze, one being companions. Essentially, the idea is you freeze the castle, you put down Tower of Winter that creates extra damage when something is frozen, including the castle. And of course, that leads to bigger damages from smaller units, and even with global buffs, that can rise up even further to essentially create this situation where even the tiniest unit is going to produce like 5 damage and could end your opponent in, fewer turns than expected. So that's the idea. How do we pull it off, though? Well, let's go ahead and break down the two components. For freeze, you've got obviously Cloak of Ice, Ice Drake, and Yenneroth as your castle freezers. Tower of Winter, of course, being another component to that freeze aspect, but not really freezing the castle. It's the building that provides you that extra damage, so you're going to want to include that in there. And then you also have Frost Giant as sort of like extra freeze. Not really, it can't really freeze castle, but it provides some beef and can stall units, which I think is going to be useful when you're right up against the castle and you want to kind of make sure your opponent can't kill the units that are on face already. So that's why he's in here. A little extra freeze doesn't hurt anybody. Now, admittedly, Freezing Pillar is another option to consider when you're making this deck. I found, when you mix all the elements together, it's a lot of freeze. It doesn't work too well, so I kind of chose between Cloak of Ice and Freezing Pillar and went with the Cloak of Ice. I found it was more mobile, it was cheaper, I could play it in more scenarios than I could the Freezing Pillar, so I kind of went with the Cloak on that perspective, but, if you want to incorporate Freezing Pillar in here too, that is something else you could try, especially if you don't have things like maybe the Rat King or Yenneroth. You could definitely incorporate Freezing Pillar as your additional freezing component, if you will, I guess. Element maybe makes more sense. But to pair alongside that, you do need units that will appear quick on face, and, if the castle is frozen, to do the damage. So, in the companion element, we are running Forest Watcher, Centaur, and Spiny. Of course, those are really the only companions, I believe. I just want to double check. Sometimes I miss things. Yeah, no, these are the only 3 companions, so of course I did decide to go with a ratio of 3 Spiny, 3 Centaur, and 2 Forest Watcher. I feel like the 3rd Forest Watcher might be a little too clunky, and of course, Forest Watcher a little trickier to get on face than Centaur or Spiny, considering it needs that extra turn to come alive, if you will. He does have the slow, after all. And there is Elvish Hunter, which maybe you could throw in for where Wizard is. I mean, substitute out the range, if you will. But I find Wizard's more reliable, so I'm not running Elvish Hunter in this build anyway. Because I don't think the discount is really super needed here. But anyway, that's sort of what we're working with here. You got the freeze to create a frozen castle, Tower of Winter as the additional support for that, to doing extra damage, and then you have the companions to kind of do the blows and hopefully deliver a big damage, if you will. But with that being said, what are the other support cards that we are using to, I guess, facilitate this? Because obviously those cards are alone aren't enough to win games here. So we are running, of course, standard stuff. If Lumberjack, Blacksmith, Armory. We are running 3 Blacksmith actually, just because I feel like I want more global buffs in the deck to, again, if we're going if we're focusing on Castle, I think it's important to have some global buffs out there, more so than just the regular 2-2 ratio, so I'm going 3-2 here. We've got Wizard, Rat King, what else? Mordock. Pretty standard stuff there, but we also, of course, are running some Druid good stuff cards. We got Bestial Rage. We've got Beastmaster here. Help things flow along a little bit here. And we are also running 2 copies of Mystic Journey. I found Mystic Journey is a little more useful in this deck because we are running a lot of initiatives. We're running things like Rat King, Frost Giant, Beastmaster. There are some initiative things to go around here, so I think it doesn't hurt to at least include 2 copies of a Mystic Journey in here. See, maybe this is sort of a test card personally, but figure to see where it goes, see if we can make use out of it. And then some other things, Dwarven Miner, because I feel like I need another early game unit in here. Wizard, I think I already mentioned, it's just solid range unit. Can't go without Lightning Blade in any Viking deck. This could probably do some big things too, now that I'm looking at it. You drop a Centaur Lightning Blade on a Frozen Castle. That's going to do some big damage, especially with Tower of Winter out. I guess I should always preface that. But regardless, that is the deck list for Blizzard Blitz. Pretty much nothing else I can explain. Everything else kind of fits into place here. And the more you look at it, the more I guess it makes sense. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the gameplay and see how this deck performs. Alright, so we have an interesting hand to start us off. I don't think we need all of these Viking cards right about now. I'm going to see if I can swap out, see if we get anything good. We do have Lumberjack, we do have some companions, and I will hopefully get maybe some Towers of Winter, hopefully, so I can demonstrate this combo. I'm pretty happy with this opening hand, but we'll see where things go. So I'm going to take some draw, he's going to take some damage. Well, I'm going to take the damage, but you guys know what I mean. I think I'm going to coin out the Wizard because I already have the Spiny as a turn 3 play, so I'm not super concerned. Plus, I'll see maybe if he's got a burn. He is rocking the Warlocks after all. Although, we do have a lot of free stuff. We've got Giant, we've got... Oh! That is a Pyromancer. It does actually make me somewhat happy. What we can do. I'll set up a Dwarven Miner for now. I don't really have any other substantial plays to make. But we'll run Centaur in to snipe off that Pyromancer. And then maybe save the Spiny? Or not? Hello? That's an Armory. I mean, it still does, technically. Actually, you know what's better? Let's set up my own Armory for now, and we'll threaten his. If he burns off my Armory, it's no big deal. We'll just trade Armories at this point. Instead of having to use a Centaur just yet. Centaur and Spiny, companions like that, I do want to try and save for the actual, combo. Putting them on face with Ice, Tower of Winter to get some big damage in. And we need to get things like Armory established anyway, so better to take that route. It does leave our Wizard quite weak, but it is what it is. He'll also throw out a Darkbender. Okay. That one does slightly concern me a little bit. I think what I'm going to try and do here... We'll do a Cloak of Ice Spiny. Spiny hits the Salahar. That's like the absolute last thing I wanted it to hit. Oh, shoot. I was hoping to freeze off the Darkbender so our Wizard can make a better trade. But, Salahar was a bet that we unfortunately lost. Lumberjack comes in, does his little thing right there. Alright, get some draw for him, not too bad. It does take out our Spiny too, which is unfortunate, but it's okay, we still have ways to kind of out this. Second Darkbender is going to make things difficult. Can we hit the top one with this? No, we can't even do that. We'll just pull back for now. I'm not wanting to waste either the miner. Well, actually, no, I just don't want to waste the miner. So our best bet is just Frost Giant. Freeze off one of them. I guess that's okay to make. I'm hoping Frost Giant can maybe make a trade here. Or at least force something out. Alright, Darkbender going down there, putting a little more caution to my Dwarven Miner because I retreated him. Okay, Centaur. You probably should have saved that for the Armory. Okay. So let's go ahead and make this then. We'll make that trade there. I'm running out of companions to make my big combination here. We need to draw a Tower of Winter to start getting things done. Although, regardless, I think he's not going to be able to make a trade. Well, he can kill all... Yeah, that's probably the best bet he can do. Do a retreat there. He might have something for the Miner, too. He hasn't played anything yet. Okay, Spiny looking like the card to play there. So there goes Miner. Now, how do you figure out the big boy? Pyromancer. Alright, well... Oh! I got it! We're gonna do it. 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 Hopefully, please. Please let this work. We've got the combo set up. We've got the Tower of Winter, which will generate more damage, not only from the Frost Giant, from the Centaur we could play. Come on, combo. Come on. Fuck! God damn it. I hate when they do that. The combo is right there. It exists. We can do it. Oh boy. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The combo was there. Essentially what that would have done is just more damage on top of the existing one. So I threw out the Centaur would have been an additional 7 damage, and 8 plus the from the Frost Giant attack, it would have been 8. So you guys see, it would have been lethal anyway, unless he would have taken another Frost Giant, which I don't think he could have. He only had, I think, 2 cards in his hand. But regardless, that was the combo that we showed it off. We did that. You know, we didn't see the damage go through, but it was there. It was there, and you cannot tell me otherwise. So I think that in itself is a big win for this deck. And with that being said, folks, if you did enjoy this edition of Hidden Combos, let me know what you guys think of the Blizzard Blitz deck down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Share with your friends, of course, subscribe if you are new or haven't done so already. Big support to the channel by just clicking the subscribe button at no cost to you. And with that being said, guys, I think that's going to do it for me for now. So, until next time, stay gaming.